I had always grown up with a negative perception of Africa.
Okay.
Don't go, it's full of poverty. If you go, you're going to get sick, you're going to get kidnapped. Then I went to Ghana.
Okay.
And I saw something completely different.
Right. All right, Black History Month honors and celebrates African Americans that have made history with their contributions and are living history makers. Philanthropist and entrepreneur Jay Cameron, founder of Black History Before Slavery campaign, had a life-changing trip to Ghana in 2018. Today, he is on a mission to get others to travel to Africa and experience its vast beauty firsthand. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're just telling me about this trip to Mount Kilimanjaro and just, I mean, it's blowing my mind because you were saying that you kind of take a break every 45 minutes. You were doing this for 8 days straight. And I was asking you, how did you feel afterwards?
Well, afterwards, I was in pain.
Yeah.
But it was the most rewarding experience, I think, of my life because from a physical perspective and a mental perspective, it challenged me and it pushed me to the limits.
Wow.
But what led me to Mount Kilimanjaro was that life-changing trip to Ghana in 2018.
Yes.
So for years, I had always grown up with a negative perception of Africa.
Okay.
Don't go, it's full of poverty. If you go, you're going to get sick, you're going to get kidnapped. Then I went to Ghana.
Okay.
And I saw something completely different.
Right.
And I went to the MISA slave dungeon, and in going there, I realized that there was more to the story.
Okay.
And so what that did was it prompted me to want to explore Africa more.
Okay.
And that's when Mount Kilimanjaro came in, because there's a door at Elmina. It's called the Door of No Return. And so in other words, those of us who are part of the African diaspora were not supposed to come back.
That's right.
But I was back.
But didn't they change the name?
Well, at Cape Coast they did.
Okay, okay.
But Elmina is still the Door of No Return.
Wow.
And so I went there and I said, you know what, I'm going to go back and I'm going to explore more of Africa. And that's what prompted Black History Before Slavery, because some of the history before what we know in America was fascinating history. And I was always told that, you know, you're a descendant of kings and queens, but who were these kings and queens?
Right.
And once I discovered who these kings and queens were, it just unlocked the entire continent.
So you were able to follow your journey, follow your roots back?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm a descendant of the Tammany tribe in Sierra Leone.
Wow.
And so that's by way of African ancestry. So I was able to take that DNA, and I've taken all of the DNA, and they've linked me to different parts of West Africa. But in particular, I know I'm a descendant of the Tammany tribe in Sierra Leone. So now I'm excited about sharing this information because there's so much misinformation about the continent. It is one of the most beautiful places that you would ever want to experience.
And because there's misinformation about the continent, is there misinformation about the people before they became slaves?
Absolutely.
Okay,
and
like what?
So for example, we're thinking, okay, anytime you see someone, they're in chains or in some sort of bondage, but when you start looking at the Mali Empire and the Songhai Empire and the Ghana Empire and the Axum Empire, you discover that these were very wealthy entrepreneurs. Now, they had their challenges.
Right.
Now, let me give you a fact. Before slavery, Africans did not refer to themselves as black.
What did they refer to themselves?
They were kingdoms. So you had the different tribes in the different kingdoms.
Okay.
So everybody looked the same.
Right.
So there was no, oh, look at my color and look at your color. There was none of that. And it was more or less territorial. They were protecting their territories.
Okay.
So then what you began to understand in Sierra Leone, there were rice farmers. So that was one thing that they would produce. But then with the Mali Empire, they would discover the gold.
Ooh.
And so the gold in what we now know as Ghana. Here's another fact. The countries in Africa just got their names in 1885.
That's not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
When you think about it, it's really not that long ago.
Not that long ago. So in 1885, at the Berlin Conference, that's when countries like Nigeria and Ghana and Sierra Leone and South Africa and Tanzania, well, Tanzania was a little bit later on, but Kenya, that's when they actually established the borders and established those countries.
So why then, why is there this misconception that the slaves were brought over here to America uneducated, not smart? Where did that come from? Is that something that was made up as history tells the story?
Absolutely, colonization.
Okay.
And so if you think about it, they had to know something.
Right.
Because they built much of what we have in America. So if you think, when you go back and look at ancient Africa and you see the structures that they built in Egypt and in Timbuktu, and you can look at other places in Africa, the great Zimbabwe Empire, you realize that these people had incredible value. And that's why they were brought here. And the other part that I understood was that capitalism is what was driving slavery. It wasn't racism.
Right.
So it was capitalism and seeing that they can produce something of value. And so now let's hide this history and exploit it. And so that's really, when you begin to do that, especially as a young person of color, you connect those dots. Now you understand, I'm not a descendant of slaves.
Right.
I'm a descendant of the enslaved.
Right.
But I'm also these kings and queens, I'm a descendant of. Now, this is what they did. And so that's the whole purpose of this campaign. And that's why I take people back, because I want them to see. It's once you see and put your hands on it, and as we're looking here at these different artifacts and different forms of art, like this right here is from the top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
That's incredible.
So
Hold that right there so you get a good camera.
All right, got it right there?
Yeah. So top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Stood there and I saw this.
And
I said to myself, I need to take something back with me that I can always hold on to. And that's what this is right here. And when I stood there, I understood that I was also overcoming the door of no return.
Right.
But now I'm standing at the tallest mountain in Africa and the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. And so for me, as a person of color in America, I was making a statement. And so many of the challenges that I faced as a young brown boy growing up went away because I was like, wow, this is amazing.
So let me ask you about that, because you've had this privilege to be able to go and learn. Let's take it back to your mom and dad, to your grandma, to your great-grandma, who may not have had this opportunity. And you come back and you're telling them these stories and you're like, look, this is who we are descendants of. Not just slaves, but we're descendants of entrepreneurs and kings and queens. What was it like for them? Because they grew up in a whole different atmosphere.
It was a different mindset.
Yes.
And for me, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go, because growing up, it was always negativity about Africa. Oh, I don't want to go. I don't need to know. Those people sold us into slavery. And here's the part. It wasn't just that simple. Because it wasn't black selling black. There were kingdoms and tribes and territories. These were just people being people. So I said, I need to go see for myself because of all of the negativity that I heard from my family. Don't go. Don't be bothered with it. So when I went there, I saw the craftsmanship of all of this. This is all original artwork.
Wow.
Not imported from anywhere. That was made in Tanzania. This was made in Ghana. I received these from the tribe, the Maasai tribe in the Serengeti. So as I'm looking at all of this, this was made original in Ghana.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Oh, wow, Jay, we could continue to talk to you longer. How do we find you and get in touch with you?
MaximumImpactSuccess.com. I'm giving away 29 free Black History facts before slavery. And so you can go there and sign up, MaximumImpactSuccess.com.
There you go. Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. Stay with us. There's more of Let's Talk Live coming up next.